So for anyone, it'll work for anyone willing to implement it. It's no mystery. I mean, is there anything like, whoo, I don't get it here? It's very simple, right? I mean, a lot of the things we talk about tomorrow are tactical. How do I set up my AdWords campaign? Okay, how do I build my website? Those are tactical things. None of that works unless you get this, but this is no mystery. There's nothing difficult to it, right? Are you with us? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a choice. You can either choose to or choose not to. It's up to you. So no one else decides this for you. And most people don't take advantage of it. So the only question we ever have during this workshop is, will you take advantage of it? Yes. It's a choice. 1, 2, 3? Yes! Then you can. So maybe put it in your calendars to every day do a 1, 2, 3 yes to remind yourself, link it, that I'm in control. I'm going to win today, every day. Let's break down very quickly the 4 things that will hold you back. You want to know what they are? Yes. If you know what they are, we can probably wipe them out. Fair enough? Yes? Yes. Okay, number 1, bad self-image. Big time. Everyone has a story. Sorry about it. You know, everyone's got this, oh, well, the reason I can't, the reason I didn't, the reason I won't, the reason I haven't. You know what? Everyone has the story. And everyone's story in their own minds is worse than the next guy's. Right? Oh, yeah. In fact, when you know, we should do an exercise sometime, not at this event because we don't have time to, where everyone just swaps their story and you'll hear this as part of it. Oh, yeah, but wait till you hear mine. Yeah. Wait till you hear mine. And you'll go around the room and everyone will be saying, well, wait till you hear this. Wait till you hear mine. You know what? Everyone has it. And you could all outdo each other for the rest of the eternity. Or you can just say, you know what? We've all got the story. Let's just go. Jet has a theory on this. You want to share it or you want me to?
I want you to tell it.
Okay. Jet says, yeah, we all have a story. And you could spend 10 years working out, you know, oh, my mom treated me this way, or I grew up that way, or this or that. He says, you know what? Here's his theory. You want his? Now, if we give it to you, some of you have to promise to do it. Okay? Yes. He says, okay, all of you should handle all that stuff and all that baggage. All of you should. But it's much easier to do after you reach the top leadership level, then you take the time and the money to go do it then. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Just put it aside for now, reach the top level, and then go handle it later. Right? And Jen has. He's never done.
Oh, completely.
So everyone does. So handle it later. Put it aside and just do it now. You got to make a decision to overcome that. I guarantee if you start handling it now and working on all the, you know, sitting down, you know, big couch, tell me about your childhood. Oh, don't at some point you still have to decide, you know what? Okay, I told this stranger all of my stuff. I just got to go do this. At some point, doesn't that connection happen? Yes, you still have to decide that. So you know what? Those couches, they're not that comfortable. You know, you just decide now. Skip that part, for now at least. You got to visualize yourself winning. What does that mean? Visualize yourself winning. Pony talked about presidential shoes, you know, presidential pink shirt, whatever you like. Visualize yourself in that winning position. And if you're not willing to take that step, you know what? You got to change. Some folks will even say, well, I could never visualize. Well, just do it. Just try it. Try it for how long? Just 21 days. Test it. Try to prove us wrong. You will win. You'll move your business forward just by trying it. Toss out past influences. We're going to talk about this one here just a little bit. All of us have got these past influences that basically have shaped who we are up until this point. Would you agree? Yes. And some of those influences are still in your life right now. So we have this wonderful illustration. Very kind. What moves you? Here's what we mean by this. As you go through your life, picture yourself as this machine. Everything that you do moves and shapes the earth. Every action you take, every word that you say, every thought that you have moves and shapes the world around you, even if you're not conscious of that. I mean, a lot of people will go through their lives and they don't even realize that they're impacting the world or influencing or impacting other people in their lives, right? Yeah. Now, there's only one variable with this. What's that variable? Who's in that box right there driving it? Some people are still being driven by their dad or their mom from when they were a little kid. Money doesn't grow on
trees.
So if you even allow yourself to think that way, who's driving your machine? They are. Yeah. Does that make sense? So you got to analyze, wait a minute, who's running this thing in my life? If it's not you consciously, then someone else is. And you know what? Unless that someone is someone who achieved all of their goals and dreams just like you want to, maybe they shouldn't be running your machine. Maybe you should be. So sometimes what we got to do is just take a split second and assess, am I driving this? Am I impacting the world? Am I moving the world and people the way I want to? Or is someone else literally driving my machine forward? Is it possible that someone is? So take just a second and decide. Is it you or is it someone else right now before 6708? Write that person down if it's not you. Sometimes it's not easy, is it? Write them down in pen. Okay? What I want you to do, if it's not you, if it's you, great. Then you can change. If it's not you, you're just going to draw a line through it. And you're going to put me there. Not me, you. Tim will drive my machine. Tim doesn't know how to find a pliers.
That could be a new project.
That's right, a new project. So you're going to write you there. Because if this is your life and you're going to move the earth, we feel that you should probably decide how you move it and who you move in it. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Luckily, you've chosen an industry where you can make a big impact in this. I know Pony and I have both had to go through a lot of growth to take other people out of the driver's seat in our lives.
Oh, yes.
Any comments on that, Pony, or we just...
No, that's pretty much sums it up.
The next one, fear of failure will hold you back. Now, there's two ways to look at this fear of failure. One way is to look at it that, oh my gosh, I can't even start because what if I fail? The other way is to say, you know what? It's great because it's going to drive me to make sure that I don't fail. I'm going to take on the project. I'm going to go for it. But you know what? I got to tell you something. And again, we're being very honest with you guys. We're hoping that you're going to be very honest with us when we ask you to write something down or interact with us or role play with us, those type of things. To this day, at least once or twice a month, I have this fear of failure where I just literally have to somehow, we've got to put something in place, another project, so that we don't end up, our family, like I grew up. When I grew up, there was never enough money to survive a month. My mom had 3 jobs a lot of the times. There were a couple of holiday seasons where there were no gifts, and that drives me sometimes, that fear of. So I sometimes make a decision. Even where we are now in our lives, I make a decision, I will not let that happen. And I go for it right then. And for a few days, that drives me. So is that okay? Yes. It's just one of those things that drives me. There's 2 ways to look at that, though. It can either be paralyzing or motivating. You can say, you know what, I'm not even going to try because what if I... Or you're going to be like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to fail, so I'm going to go for it. It's your choice how to interpret and utilize all of these things.
Can you tell them about Brett Weaver?
You can.
No, you, because that's your story.
I'll tell it. You tell it.
No.
Okay. So we get started.
That's
We get
crazy.
started in our business, and there's this guy, and our first, literally, I turned in my notice, and this guy says, you know what, Tim? You're not going to make it. I'm going to keep your job for you. I'm going to hold it open for 3 months. We're not going to fill it. We'll just keep it open for you. And that drove me crazy. And it also scared the heck out of me. I did not want to go back to that. So I found a picture of this gentleman. You already said his name on tape, I think.
I think it was quiet.
Okay.
No. Whoops.
And I put it up on the wall. And every day
We're
I'd see
taking
that and
it
I'd be
out.
like, oh my God, I got to make some more phone calls, make something happen. Because the fear of failure drove me. I could not live with that. I guarantee the reason for that story, I guarantee someone has told you at some point or hinted to you that you're not going to make it. There's 2 ways to look at that.
That's
Let
right.
them win or you win. This seminar is about winning. Maybe you should get their picture out. Now, if it's someone that lives in your house, it's going to be a little awkward, isn't it? So if it's someone that lives in your house, don't draw a red circle around it and put a line through. You'll never be able to explain that. Just prove them wrong. That's okay too, right? You know what? Every time this gentleman sees us now, he is so happy and excited for us.
He's amazed.
He's amazed.
Yeah.
He's shocked. He's astonished. He's no longer holding the job
He's very
open.
supportive.
He filled it. He took the job.
He did.
He did
took
take the job, which I love. So the only way to really fail would be if Brett would have said that. Look at this part. If Jeb would have said it, and Jeb Bush would have said, hey, look, the only way...
Jeb Bush.
We're moving along here. You can edit. The only way that could have defeated me is if I would have chosen, you know what, he's right. I better just keep the job. In other words, I would have quit, right?
Yep.
You can use things in your life one way or another. You get to choose them. It's your parts. It's your card that you drew or that Pony put in your bag last night. That's the great thing about this. You make all the decisions. So you respect the fear, but you don't let it keep you from persisting. You know, with our 100 Days project, I was scared to death to even tackle it. But we just went for it. And I used that fear on days that I didn't feel like doing it. I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's watching this thing. Let's call our leaders. Let's help them out more. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because everyone's watching this thing. We can't fail. Okay? Make sense? The next one, we've already tackled it. For those of you out there, you've got to tackle this. Lack of specific goals. You can work like crazy, but if you don't know where you're headed, you're not going to get there.